This is The Big Question with Dr. Ellie Gonzalez, brought to you by Good News Unlimited, tackling the big questions in a simple and positive way.
And today's big question is, do our lives really matter? Recently I was speaking to a good friend and he opened up to me and told me that he was wondering what the purpose of his life was and whether his life really mattered. This is a question that I've been asked more often than you might think, in one way or another.
Most people never think about these kinds of questions anymore because they're too busy trying to either enjoy themselves or to survive. And if the question of does my life really matter pops into their heads, they aren't really able to deal with it because they're not prepared to examine their own worldview. But we don't ignore the big questions here, do we? So let's look at it. The answer to this question is found within the way that you see the world, your worldview. Everyone's got one, whether you know it or not. The logical conclusion of the theory of evolution is that your life has no higher purpose than to breed and perpetuate your kind, while beating down anyone who threatens you. After all, everything is completely random, isn't it? Your only real legacy is your contribution to the gene pool. But the other alternative to your existence is that you've been intentionally created by a loving God who has a good purpose for your life. And the great news is that you get to choose which reality you believe and live out in your life. I know that your life has meaning. I know that every life has meaning. I know that my own life has meaning, and I can tell you that it's profoundly powerful and fulfilling. That's because I know that God is real and that He is purposeful in all His dealings with humanity. Even more, I know that He is intentionally loving towards you and towards me. Through the Bible, God says to you, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future." The Bible presents the creation of humanity as a personal act of a loving God. It presents the story of His anguish as humanity lost its way. It describes how He personally came to earth in the person of His Son Jesus to demonstrate His love for us and to offer His own life so that we might live, and not just life now, but life forever.
Everything about God's dealings with me and with you is personal, intentional, and for an eternal purpose. Your life really does matter to God. Your life really matters to those who love you, and there are plenty of them. God's heart aches for you to see just how much your life does matter. Most people who wonder whether their life really matters haven't really tried God. Give Him a go in your life.
Contact goodnewsunlimited.com.